Criticisms have continued to trail the number of delegates representing Nigeria at the ongoing climate summit in Brazil. According to the former presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, the 749-member delegation to COP30 is another stunning display of misplaced priority by President Bola Tinubu-led administration. Obi noted that China, a world power with a far larger economy and population, sent 789 delegates to the same event. He noted that while Nigeria needs to have a strong voice in global climate discussions, this spectacle comes at a heavy cost to the people, with about 150 million living in multidimensional poverty, struggling daily with food insecurity, inadequate health care, and limited access to basic services. For this conversation, we have Adewole Adebayo, former presidential candidate of the Social Democratic Party, SDP. Thank you for giving us your time. Nigeria appears to find itself in this situation. COP delegations are usually so big, and many say they don't know how that translates to gain for Nigeria. Let's begin from there.
Well, I'm not one to criticize numbers in absolute terms, because if you send 30-person delegation and they don't attend the meetings, they don't do their homework before going there, that 30 is a waste. And if you send 1,000 delegation of 1,000 people, and they attend all the stakeholder meetings, prepare their position. I've been in position before to organize international conferences in many parts of the world. I've been an organizer, advisor of international conferences for 2 decades now. And my feeling is not by the number of delegation, or the number of your delegation, but the quality of your delegation. If you prepared your paper, position paper, if you are engaging other stakeholders, if you are coming there to meet funders, and you are interacting with funders, if you attend all the sessions that are relevant to your country's priorities, and at the end of the day, if your contributions reflect in the communique, and you make an impact, and that is what I, as a rapporteur of many international conferences, that's what I look out for. Of course, from the domestic point of view, before you can criticize the size of the delegation, you have to know who is paying for the delegation. Developing countries tend to have more sponsors paying for them. And when I was on the board of Municipal Program for Africa, MDP, and AfriCities, we used to sponsor countries that, developing countries. We used to sponsor them, and we will not sponsor people from the European Union or any of the OECD countries. So you cannot just out of nowhere, without getting the details, start criticizing people who might be hardworking people try to represent the country well.
All right, when you look at the cost-benefit ratio of participating in international fora like the COP conferences, how do we assess its strategic impact on domestic climate concerns and local climate policy?
First, it's your own knowledge of the subject matter. There's a tendency for one to make himself an expert on every subject. But in reality, there's no person who's an expert on every subject. So what every campaign or any party or anybody wants to do is to make sure that you have a specialist on your team who knows the subject matter, like the environment, who knows what happened right from Copenhagen up to here. I think the most radical of the COP meetings have been the one in Copenhagen. I remember because I was there and I monitor also from Morocco, because I was coordinating a program related to that from Morocco, coordinating African position. And what I see is that it's a place where you can learn methodologies, what other countries have done to better their environmental footprint. You can meet environmental entrepreneurs who have these new ideas on how to mitigate environmental issues and how to adapt to climate change. You can meet potential donors. You can meet partners.
Well, how many of this actually, I really want to take you on other national issues, but let's ask, how many of this actually translates to tangible climate positive action for Nigeria?
It depends on the efficiency, first, depends on the quality of the delegation, and if they're able to report back, and if the authority that sent them there, especially the government, if they're able to use the lessons to translate to policies, to implement these policies. So you cannot divorce that from the effectiveness or otherwise of the home government. If the home government is not effective, if it's wasteful, if it's dilatory, if it's not competent, even if you send a modest delegation there, whatever they come back with will be useless. But if you have an efficient government, the kind of government that I emphasize to give to the country, a government that is nimble, that is quite smart, that understands the issues and has policy-ready programs, then you...
Well, I mean, there is the argument that, I mean, when you're not on the hot seat, you might have all the solutions. One would wonder, even before you get into there, Nigeria belongs to all of us. Is there something stopping you from pitching these ideas, these solutions to the current administration? Because if Nigeria succeeds, all of us succeed. That is one question. The other one, quickly, is to get your thoughts on what is happening across the country, particularly the two recent incidents. We have the Kebbi kidnap of the girls who were in school and the people who went to worship. Connect that as well to the comments by Trump and the reaction about genocide in Nigeria.
Okay, with respect to pitching any idea to the government, it's not my business to pitch idea to the government. We published a manifesto during the campaign. They know that our environment programs is better than theirs. They know that our environmental policy is stronger than theirs. It's not hidden. They can go there and copy. As a private citizen, I have done many programs, including for Nestria, for Ministry of Environment, as a lawyer, as an environmental lawyer. I've done a lot about the most important program that Nestria is running now was championed by me, the whole program and law and everything and the agreement written by me. So I've done enough as a private citizen with respect to that.
All right.
So it's up to them to be efficient. Now, the next thing to think about is that there are emerging issues in the country. We ran for office on the basis of farewell to poverty and insecurity. And it's unfortunate that poverty and insecurity persist because we elected the wrong government who have the wrong focus. So what we need to do now as a country is to understand that the safety and security of lives and property is number one. And we should not politicize it. And before the campaign begins very soon, and this thing becomes a political issue, there ought to be a consensus by all of us regarding how to keep our people safe. And we also need to understand that the international concern for the safety of our people can lead to crisis actors trying to spike up these attacks. You will have seen that it appears that the spate of attacks is suddenly rising because of what is going on with the international attention. And like all terrorists, they like to make their impact when the attention is on them.
I hate to interject, but we're really time pressed. There is another issue. If you can speak in 40 seconds, that would be really great. The recent fracas at the PDP headquarters, where we had different factions, and the implications for opposition in Nigeria.
Well, it's a lesson that PDP has always been a lawless party, even when they were in government, always rigging elections, inflating things, having multiple candidates from one party. The lesson they need to learn is that they need to put their house in order. They can't blame anyone for this. Their problem is an internal problem for them, ego, ambition, and all of that. And we will do all we can to intervene. Their new chairman is a very good friend of mine. We will do all we can. Very soon you will see that other political parties we are going to go and start to talk to them so that they can at least put their house in order, because Nigeria needs a diversified political environment.
I certainly hope to be
responsible for PDP.
I certainly hope to read that news where there is a convergence of all the political parties for one goal. Thank you very much for obliging us tonight.
Welcome. Thank you. God bless.